Hey, thank you very much for buying my 5 Pillars Kettlebell Workout System. The way you use the system, you pick a movement from each of the 5 pillars. That covers the entire body from head to toe. This is what I refer to as movement-based exercise. If you pick one movement per each pillar, you will have a very balanced workout system. As far as sets and repetitions go, it's up to you. I recommend for most of the strength moves somewhere between 3 to 5 repetitions. Once the exercises are too easy and you're able to get more than a couple sets of 5 reps, time to move up in kettlebell size. For the swings and the snatches and the hinge movements where you're using a little bit of momentum, anywhere between 10 to 20 repetitions is in order. Lower body also seems to respond well for high repetitions, so I'd recommend somewhere between 10 to 20 repetitions for lower body as well. But hey, with the 5-pillar kettlebell system, you're never at a loss on how to put together a workout. Once again, very simple. One exercise from each of the 5 pillars. Pick the appropriate one. There's some hard exercises, there's some easier exercises. You pick the one that is most appropriate for your skill level and your strength levels at this point. A lot of kettlebell workouts largely depend on the weight of the kettlebell. So if you find that the exercises are just simply too easy, you just bump the weight up. So there you have it. Tried, true, proven exercise system based on the 5 pillars of human movement. This is the first pillar of the 5-pillar kettlebell workout system. Scott is going to demonstrate the one-arm military press. Notice how he brings the feet under the hips and is standing completely straight with no leaning whatsoever. He's keeping the thighs tight and engaged, squeezing the glutes to protect the lower back. There's no leaning whatsoever. He's also using a little technique I call opening the gate, where the hand rotates slightly outward. And he's keeping his lats active the entire time, both in pushing up and then actively pulling the kettlebell down. This protects the shoulder capsule. As a matter of fact, I've found that with the weight on the outside of the forearm, the kettlebell activates the entire shoulder girdle and is quite good as a rehabilitation exercise if your shoulders bug you. It may be one of the safest overhead vertical presses that you can possibly do with any type of equipment. The one-arm military press. If you have 2 kettlebells of the same size, the double kettlebell military press is an excellent vertical push. Using the same technique as you did with the single kettlebell press, once again, lats are active, glutes tight to protect the lower back, abdominals are engaged, he's zipping up the front of his thighs, and he's gripping the ground with his feet and corkscrewing the feet isometrically outwards, so that he has a vortex of power coming through the soles of the feet, going right up through his legs, hips, and into his upper torso. Once again, Scott is using what I call the opening the gate technique and slowly allowing the arms to rotate out. And this is much harder than the single kettlebell military press because double the weight. So double your pleasure, double your fun. The double kettlebell military press. Similar to the one-arm kettlebell military press is the side press. But here Shannon is leaning away from the kettlebell and then straightening up at the end. There is a lot of torso action here. Great way to work the obliques and the rib cage muscle. It's also, if you're stuck with a heavy kettlebell and you can't military press it, you can still get a really good vertical push workout using the one-arm side press. Once again, same things apply. She's gripping the ground with the toes, corkscrewing the legs, zipping up in the thighs. Her glutes are being squeezed the entire time. She's actively using the lats to recruit to both push and pull the kettlebell down. And notice too that her hand is fully inserted in the handle so that the handle is coming across the hand and is right on the top of the heel of the hand. I really like this exercise a lot. I consider it as much a torso exercise as I do a shoulder exercise. It's a very complete upper body workout. The one-arm side press. A real old school overhead exercise using the first pillar, the vertical push, is the bent press. Notice how Shannon leans away from the weight, almost like she's doing a windmill. She's not actually lifting the weight so much as dropping her body away from the kettlebell. You can elevate some pretty heavy weight with this technique. She allows the elbow to come way back, and you will feel this exercise a lot in the latissimus dorsi. In fact, I consider it a lat exercise. Here she's switching hands, and Shannon was somewhat unfamiliar with this exercise and was working on it in the studio with me, and you can see that she picked it up really quick. Once again, if you can't military press or side press, a lot of times you can bent press and still get a tremendous shoulder tricep workout. And I would say that you get as much lat as you do shoulder and tricep. You have to try this to really appreciate that. It really looks like it's just a pushing exercise, but the lats are working so hard as a stabilizer. It's really amazing. The one-arm bent press. One of my favorite exercises for the vertical push is the seesaw press. It's almost like the kettlebells are on a little pulley. As one goes up, one goes down simultaneously. And you want to time it so that they're both, as one locks out, one arm locks out, the other hand is touching the shoulder. It takes a little coordination. And as you did in the side press, you're really leaning to the side and getting the entire core involved with the movement. She's keeping the lats active, and wow, you have to try this to really appreciate how much the ribs and the obliques are getting a fantastic workout. Once again, glutes tight, abs engaged, thighs zipped up, feet corkscrewed into the floor to protect the lower back. And if you have two kettlebells, you can get a fantastic vertical push with the seesaw press. The duosymmetric press is really an excellent way to get some static work in while doing dynamic. You start out by pressing both kettlebells, and one stays in the locked out position while the other one goes through the range of motion. If the kettlebell seems a little bit light, you can unlock the arm slightly, as you see Scott here doing. Now the arm isn't fully locked, and he's just holding it with muscular effort at the top. Way tougher than Scott's making it look. So this is a great way to really tax the muscles of the shoulders and the tricep and the upper torso if you have a fairly submaximal weight. I call this duosymmetric press. One of the elements missing from kettlebell training is vertical pulls. It's really important to do a pull for every push overhead. In that way, kettlebells can be a little bit imbalanced. Scott takes a false grip with no thumb, and the kettlebell makes a fantastic tool for weighting pull-ups. There, he's opening the chest, pulling the chest to the bar, and he's just using a regular old belt to fasten the kettlebell to his torso. You don't need any fancy weight belts or anything like this, just any kind of belt with a strong buckle. And you can balance out all of those vertical pushes with the weighted pull-up. Slightly easier than the weighted pull-up is the weighted chin-up. Your arms are in a more efficient pulling position. Scott places the thumbs just even with the outside edge of the shoulders and keeps the shoulders, elbows, and wrists in alignment. Once again, bringing the chest to the bar, opening the chest, which is great for posture. Fantastic bicep exercise. But make no mistake about it, it's still as much lat exercise as the pull-up. It's just that the arms are in a more efficient pulling position. I like both weighted chins and weighted pull-ups, but for bodybuilding purposes, I believe that the weighted chin-up is superior. The weighted chin-up. An exercise that I pioneered at my old gym exercise is called the crush chin-up. It's really a whole body exercise. Every muscle in the upper torso is engaged. The lats, the biceps, the forearms, the grip a lot, and the pectoral muscles, which is unusual with a chin-up or a pull-up. Scott has to crush the ball of the kettlebell, thus using the adductors of the upper arm, which are the pectoral muscles, and wow, wait till you feel this thing. You could do the same thing by hanging some type of medicine ball or whatever, but the kettlebell is really convenient for hanging on a high bar, and it makes a really nice alternative for a vertical pull to balance out, once again, all of the overhead stuff you do with the kettlebell. The crush chin-up. Hey, for many of you out there, you're not quite able to do a chin-up or a pull-up yet. So I find that starting out with jump chins is a fantastic way to build up to it. Notice that Shannon's using her legs to assist her. Then she pauses at the top and does a very slow negative. It's really important not to just fall like a rock, but to slowly lower yourself down so that you can build the requisite strength necessary to start doing positive reps. And of course, the best way to get good at doing chin-ups and pull-ups is just lose the excess body fat. But hey, while you're in transition, you still need to balance out all of those overhead presses, snatches, and so forth in order to keep the shoulder girdle healthy. So the jump chin with slow negative is an excellent way to do that if you're not quite up to doing pull-ups and chin-ups with your body weight. The jump chin-up. Another way to get vertical pulling in is a static hold at the top of the bar with the flexed arm hang. Even if you're able to do chin-ups and pull-ups, this is still a great exercise. I like doing static work. The weak part of the range of motion in both chin-ups and pull-ups is always at the top. And Shannon here is holding yourself up. This is actually the Marine Corps military fitness test for women. And then when she can't hold it any longer at the top, she doesn't just fall down and quit. She slowly lowers herself down, doing a slow negative, and then she continues to pull for a couple seconds from the bottom so that she gets all part of the range of motion. This is a very, very good upper body exercise alternative if you're looking for something different. And if you can't do regular chin-ups and pull-ups, it's good. But even if you can, I recommend doing it every once in a while. It will improve your regular chin-ups and your regular pull-up strength. This is the first pillar of the 5-pillar kettlebell workout system. Scott is going to demonstrate the one-arm military press. Notice how he brings the feet under the hips and is standing completely straight with no leaning whatsoever. He's keeping the thighs tight and engaged, squeezing the glutes to protect the lower back. There's no leaning whatsoever. He's also using a little the hinge movements where you're using a little bit of momentum. Anywhere between 10 to 20 repetitions is in order. Lower body also seems to respond well for high repetitions, so I'd recommend somewhere between 10 to 20 repetitions for lower body as well. But hey, with the 5-pillar kettlebell system, you're never at a loss on how to put together a workout. Once again, very simple. One exercise from each of the 5 pillars. Pick the appropriate one. There's some hard exercises. There's some easier exercises. You pick the one that is most appropriate for your skill level and your strength levels at this point. A lot of kettlebell workouts largely depend on the weight of the kettlebell. So if you find that the exercises are just simply too easy, you just bump the weight up. So there you have it. Tried, true, proven exercise system based on the 5 pillars of human movement. Pillars. That covers the entire body from head to toe. This is what I refer to as movement-based exercise. If you pick one movement per each pillar, you will have a very balanced workout system. As far as sets and repetitions go, it's up to you. I recommend for most of the strength moves somewhere between 3 to 5 repetitions. Once the exercises are too easy and you're able to get more than a couple sets of 5 reps, time to move up in kettlebell size. For the swings and the snatches and Hey, thank you very much for buying my 5 pillars kettlebell workout system. The way you use the system, you pick a movement from each of the 5